This is my sample speech. I am sure everyone has had some sort of form of family in their life. You may have watched it on TV, for instance, with the Brady Bunch or Modern Family. For the most part, these families get along pretty well. My family started out like a typical family. I was the youngest of three boys. My parents later got divorced when I was 12, so I have a much different experience than most of these shows. During this speech, I will show you a clear example of how my life is much different than the average TV show. Now, I have three kids of my own, a daughter with two younger boys, all under the age of 7. I will show you my background and my life choices and how my life now is family oriented. My background is the first example of why my life is more focused on my family now. My name is Anthony Roddy. My middle name is David. I was named after my uncle, my father's side of the family. My last name is as my late father's, same as my late father's last name. I am currently 43 years old. I was born in late September. I grew up 30 minutes from where I live now. I am faithfully married and have been for 7 years. My background is that me and my brothers have been connected since the beginning. I was raised Catholic. I have not been back to church since both my parents were divorced, since they could not go back. My parents did not display a good example of how family is now. I have a huge desire to make sure that I follow in the same footstep, that I do not follow in the same footsteps as my parents made, as the same mistakes my parents made. I am currently a lead mechanic for an airline and have been for 14 years. I am also currently enrolled in ECPI University in cybersecurity and networking program, working to get my bachelor's degree. I plan on achieving everything my father could not and finish school at the same time as raising my three children with alongside my wife. Finally, I think my personality is the product of my current family and my past family that I grew up with. The first thing is, I think I have a positive outlook on my life comes from my current family's influence with my kids. I try to take the positive out of any situation when I can. I am very focused and tend to be obsessive about projects and work that I do. I tend to check and double check everything I do. I guess that's why I am currently an aircraft mechanic lead. Everything has to be in the right place. I tend to check. I do have some negative aspects in my life that I have gotten from my parents. I usually don't discipline my kids. My wife takes care of that. I never really learned how to do that from my parents. I can sometimes turn most situations into a joke and laugh at it, and that's one of the qualities I learned from my father. That could be seen as a negative. I tend to not take anything serious when it should be. In conclusion, a speech about how I've lived my life would not be understood without an example of my past. So in the end, you can now see how I lived my life from seeing how I grew up, now that I have shared with you the mechanism of my family and the strong influence they have shown me. I hope you can see how I would not be the same without them. My background, my life choices, my personality all show my dedication and enthusiasm I have for my own family. The end.